sometimes in human spaceflight you have to improvise. And so I'll just go ahead and narrate from up here. One of the distinct pleasures we have in human spaceflight is being able to participate in various ceremonies and traditions that are part of the Russian spaceflight system. And so what you see here is us signing the door in the crew quarters in Baikonur, where we launched our Soyuz from. So we were blessed by a Russian Orthodox priest, and that's why we were a little bit wet. It's pretty good dousing, but it was quite an honor to be blessed by him. And this is us marching out to the bus once we've been suited up, carrying our cooling units. The Russian rocket, Soyuz, as well as the Soyuz vehicle. It's an amazing rocket and a pretty amazing and robust system.
One of the greatest things as a first-time flyer for me as well was taking this elevator ride up to the top of the Soyuz rocket. And Tim went in first, and then Yuri, and myself, and then Yuri. And having the chance to look out from the top of that elevator prior to launch was fantastic.
Liftoff of Tim Koper, Yuri Malenchenko, and Timothy Peake on their way to the International Space Station.
One of the amazing things about launching on a Soyuz is that you wake up in Baikonur and you go to sleep on the International Space Station, because we get there in only 4 orbits now. It's quite a wild ride, but it's a series of muffled explosions as we lose each one of the stages. And after 8.5 minutes, we're in zero gravity.
One of the greatest sights is looking out the window of the Soyuz on your first orbit in space and seeing this view. Absolutely incredible.
Space Station is an absolutely amazing vehicle. We can take photographs and videos of Space Station, but it doesn't give it full credit. It is perhaps the greatest technological achievement of man. This is the Russian Mission Control Center. We had a very interesting docking to their International Space Station. It was designed to be completely automated, but we had an anomaly during that docking, and so we had to transition to a manual docking. And thankfully we had the opportunity to fly with Yuri, who has so much experience. He expertly docked us to the space station. This is the video display that you have inside the vehicle. Those flashes are the jets as they fire that control the vehicle as we come in and dock to the space station.
And with that, the hatch opened 1:58 p.m. Central Time, 2:58.
Coming on board the space station is quite strange. It feels like a home from home. You've spent so many hours training in Building 9 and in simulations in Moscow and Europe and Japan. Everything looks so familiar, but of course you're floating.
Our families had an opportunity to watch us from a theater in Baikonur.
We read you fine by, and you guys look great.
As Kirk mentioned, we had to get busy as soon as we were on board. We arrived on Tuesday. I think Thursday we found out that we would do an EVA, a spacewalk, on Monday. And so we were busy from the very get-go preparing for that spacewalk. And big kudos to Scott Kelly, who had been on board for 2 EVAs prior, and it made that transition to getting ready for a spacewalk very smooth. Incredible ground team. A spacewalk seems like you would just put on a spacesuit and then go outside and do your work. But it is a very meticulous and very well-planned and orchestrated event. It requires a ton of time for both preparation on the ground and on board. Here's Sergey and Tim helping us get inside, and then we went outside and got to work. Actually, our first task was to change the configuration of a cart that was stuck in place, and once that was complete, we had some additional tasks we worked on for a few hours before we finished up that first spacewalk.
A lot of people talk about the smell of space, and this was my first experience opening up the hatch there after Tim and Scott had been outside doing an EVA, and it was great to have them back
Welcome
inside
aboard the
safely.
International Space Station. I'm Scott Kelly, along with my Expedition 46 crew members, Tim Cobra and Tim Peake, and we have a message for all of you for the holidays.
Christmas is traditionally a time for friends and